Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is MTG Strategist coming at you with Core 2019 Blue Brew Chunks. Now, these are the blue cards from Core 2019 that I'm personally interested in brewing with. So without any ado, let's jump right in. The first card I want to talk about is Gin of Wishes. Now, Gin of Wishes is a 4/4 flyer for 5. Not an exceptional creature at that cost. But when it enters the battlefield, it gets 3 wish counters on it. And then for 4, you can remove a wish counter, reveal the top card of your library, and then cast that card without paying its mana cost. So just the jank factor on this I really like. Now, what are you going to cast? I think the one card that actually stands out in the Core 2019 that I would try to cast with it is Omniscience, which I guess that leads into the next card. This is a 10 converted mana cost. That's 3 blue and 7. It's an enchantment. It enables you to cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Now, for 10, I mean, it's extremely inefficient, so you have to sneak it out there onto the battlefield somehow. So Gin of Wishes is possibly one way to get it out there. The next card I want to talk about is Metaphoric Alteration. Now, Metaphoric Alteration is one of those copy cards. So it's an aura. You enchant a creature, and as it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature. It could be any creature out on the battlefield. Enchanted creature becomes a copy of that chosen creature. Now, what I like about this is there's a family of copy spells currently in Standard, and I just like the idea of grouping all these copy spells together, kind of taking what your opponent has or possibly something you already have and duplicating it over and over again. So many copy spells, Helm of the Host, Mirror Image, Protean Raider, Sahili's Artistry, Sahili Rai, Tilinali's Skin Shifter, one of my personal favorites, and Vizier of Many Faces. There's many of them, but there's also another copy spell in Core 2019 set, that's Mirror Image. Mirror Image, when it enters the battlefield, it enters as a copy of a creature you control. And I like how Metaphoric Alteration is costs 2, and then Mirror Image costs 3, so you can kind of duplicate what you've already duplicated. But speaking of that, there's another card that's not really a copy spell, but I could call it a still spell. It's called Switcheroo. So for a blue and 4 sorcery, you can exchange control of 2 target creatures. I like the idea of throwing out a 1/1 token or something, getting a token out there on the field and then switching it for one of your opponent's bigger creatures. And then, of course, using Mirror Image to duplicate that over and over again. The next card I want to talk about is Nexus of Fate. For 7, you can take an extra turn. If Nexus of Fate would be put, and this is what I think makes it stand out above all other taking an extra turn cards. If it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it, and then shuffle it into the owner's library instead. So it's an instant spell, so when you cast it, you put it, shuffle it into the owner's library. One card that stands out to me that I would play this with is Sanguine Sacrament. Now that is another card that once you use it, it's put back into your library to be used over and over again. So you can kind of create this eternal take another turn, gain twice life, take another turn, but of course you have to work your way down to the bottom of your library. The next card I want to talk about is Patient Rebuilding. Patient Rebuilding is a 5 cost, that's 2 blue and 3 enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent puts the top 3 cards of their library in the graveyard, and then you draw a card for each land card put into the graveyard this way. And there's a whole family of mill cards that are out there. One that's currently in, or that will be in the Core 2019 set, is Psychic Corrosion. It's an enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard. So you can see how that can play off of Patient Rebuilding. There's so many mill cards in Standard right now. Compelling Argument, Diligent Excavator, Fleet Swallower, Fraying Sanity, of course, Homerid Explorer, then Ipnu Rivulet, Minister of Inquiries, Navigator's Ruin. It goes on and on and on. But I look forward to making a Standard mill deck, and these will definitely be a part of it. Next card I'd like to talk about is Psi Master Thopterist. For 1 blue and 2, it's a legendary creature, Human Artificer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. This, of course, would be wonderful to play with favorable winds, where you're just coughing out 1/1 Thopters that get bumped up to 2/2 flyers. Which leads me into, in that same deck, I can see Tezzeret Artifice Master playing a good part of that. Its +1 is create 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. And his +0 ability is to draw a card. Now, if you have 3 or more artifacts on the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. So you can see how this deck can play out in a very elegant way. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. I'm MTG Strategist. I look forward to hearing what you think is exciting about the new set coming out.